What's up, guys? I feel a lot better today. Let's hop into this. Let's get as far as we possibly can. I don't know. Last night I just kind of started feeling dizzy, but we got this. All right, so what's up, chat? Hold on, I gotta pull it up over here. Already got 3 things of water. We're good. And of course, Comey's gonna donate some more because she's Comey, and that's just what she does, and that's just how she comes in here. Get your glasses before you start this time. Thank you, Comey, for the 5 gifted. What's up, JC? All right, I turned off the ads because I don't want people feeling like they need to donate again to get that you know, for me to turn them off. So, especially since I streamed for a short amount of time yesterday. Whew, okay. Let's go ahead and turn the music off. And, yeah. Razor with the 10 memberships. You guys don't have to do this. Yeah, I kind of owe you guys because yesterday I ended it shorter than I should have. So yeah, don't feel like you have to donate, but I appreciate all the donations. Let's do this, guys. Razor picking a fight with Comey. That's don't do that. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. All right. We do it out of spite. Just kidding. We support you, Big G. I appreciate you. Okay. Okay. 1 year ago. Munitions Factory number 11. Highbury District of Londonium. I'm bringing up my my list of words to remember on the side. Oi. Has the last batch of polymer prep come in yet? What do you mean it hasn't? This takes the piss. Who is in charge of transporting those materials? It was the one in charge. What are you dithering for? It was Feast. That boy. Okay, that is his name. Okay, I was double checking. I was like, I'm supposed to know that name. I know I am. Yeah, I checked. I checked it out. I looked. That's why I went like, I know that person. I know that person. He went out first thing this morning. Should have been back ages ago. Who went with him? Tommy, Pato, Day. They're not the same workshop. How'd they get the same shift? They all get along like that, like a house fire. Keep mucking together all the time. Feast their little ringleader. You've hit a snag from the sounds of it. Small potatoes, nothing more. Small potatoes. Catherine, you know what day it is today, right? How could I forget? I've been fearing for my life. I'll upset our officer if I sign and it looks like foul scratch. I started practicing my signature 10 whole days ago. That's practice under your belt then. The general's stressing importance hard on the handover ceremony in 2 days. Reportedly, the Defense Force's head is showing too. Want a cig? Pass one here. Oh, it's like he's stressing too. Yeah, the mercenary's stressing too. You know why it is your factory's people have stuck around until now, don't you? We work very hard. What just happened? Oh, nothing. Okay. That's a given. You do your work very well. We're alike in that regard. Work, get paid, scrape a living. But our employers know all too well the more exceptional a merc's worse, the less he can be trusted. Standard fare. Old manager of this industrial park, Sir Humphrey, never trusted us either, before you dragged him away. Don't make trouble for me, Catherine. The mercenary's tone is placid, like he's the one asking Catherine if he wants a smoke, as if he so often does. This is his job. Offering a few disobedient Londinium workers to him is almost the same as the screws she tightens on the daily. Catherine taps her cigarette into the bag. Can't have ash falling into the machinery. I told you more times than I can count. If you want efficiency maintained, our factory can't afford one few worker. I admire you a fair bit, Catherine. Even a typical merc might not even have the guts you do. You got the stuff. Thing is, it's possible to take anything too far. Londinium's got over 100 munitions factories just like yours. Even if this whole place was dead empty, the Regent wouldn't care. Nothing will change. The ceremony will come the day after. We'll hand over everything promised and all our workers will be there. No need for you to worry about a thing. I'll take your word for it then. Of course. Not got a light. I think that's a mistake. Got a lighter? You're just holding your cig there. You hold on to it. After all, Londinium smokes always have a sort of engine oil to them. Can't ever get over it. Catherine, what do we do? Off to the loading area. Pato, done there? Just the screw left. Sort it out. If this keeps up, they'll be waiting a whole week at least to get more polymer prep. Polymer up to our ears. It's just batch after batch coming in. The hell the Sark is building. I haven't seen. Granny doesn't let me anywhere near the assembly line. Only her most trusted workmates get to climb up that walkway. The longer this keeps up, the more it must be very important to the Sarkis. Gotta be a weapon, right? We've been pumping out auto crossbows for the Sarkis the last few days in the workshop. Could only be. Still, got many Ducal armies outside eyeing us. Be ghastly letting the Sarkis get away with this, I tell you. We've got to stop them, Pato. We can't be helping the Sarkis fend off our own. Think it'll be any use if we destroyed this batch of prep? Think we'd get sentenced? I'll step up if that's what it comes to. I'm not afraid of being taken in. You can't do that. Granny, grab him. Patty, do it. Huh? On the fly, she grabs a small file and throws it. With a clang, the worker's spanner flies out of his hand and onto the ground. Do you know what it is you're doing? I'm stopping the Sarkis. You're making a scene. I've got it all planned. It won't drag any of you in. I'll tell the Sarkas I did it, and then you'll die at the Sarkas' hands. You're making yourself out as a hero, aren't you? I'll try and flee. I've been planning this forever. You're using the crawler you modified. You're hiding on the cargo truck and slipping out of Herbury that way. So you knew. I've been living in this industrial park for over 50 years. Whatever silly business you try, it won't slip by me. Granny, listen to me. I received some news. There's a rebel organization active in Sudan. They've rescued a whole number of people from the Sarkas and Sudan. They've rescued a whole number of people from the Sarkas, and they've even taken back some plates. Called themselves the Londinium Citizens of Self-Salvation Corps, SSC. We're going to meet them. Are you now? And then? What? Are they lacking for smiths? Are you going to assemble and automate production pipelines for them? Maybe design the next generation of crawlers? You can't even put a single armament together. You're going to go up to the people at this Self-Salvation Corps and tell them you want to bash Sarkas' heads in with spanners? I'm learning. I know the stories you've told me. Like how you got selected to build steam armor when you were young. And I've heard you spending night after night polishing at power conduits. I don't get it. We're Londinium workers. You've been teaching me that since I was little. You've told me how our factory built modern Victoria. But now, we're lowering our flag at a handover ceremony and raising the Sarkas ensign. And then we're taking the assembly line we're so proud of and producing weapons for the Sarkas with it. And those weapons will end up pointed at the Victorians. How can you bear life like this? Like what? Like this is our life, and your parents have always been living. Look at this factory. Nobles with titles longer than the surnames. Business tossers with lives built on trade, even the Sarkas. We've had people posing as its master come and go. But the assembly line's still here. The machines still haven't come to a halt. Each rivet that's passed through our hands is still in the place it's meant to be. Whoever might be occupying that place, that palace in the middle of Londinium, the city we built, will still see tomorrow and the day after that. But I don't want a tomorrow like this. What kind of life is a life without freedom? It's being alive at most. That's it. If this factory, if Londinium isn't ours anymore, then what was the point of everything we made for it? You know, Feast, 25 years ago, that night when the flames lit up the sky, your dad said much the same thing to me. Boss, the Sarkas are almost back. You're free to go wherever you want. But from this moment on, you are forbidden from ever setting foot in the factory again, Feast. A worker who won't finish the job with his own hands isn't fit for the job. Anyone who wants to go with them, I won't stop you either. Just remember, you step out this door, you're no longer one of us. Ah, fuck. Oh, that was shorter than I expected. What the fuck?
Stay close. Don't run off.
I'm listening.
Let me witness this with my own eyes. Let me witness this with my own eyes. Is there anything he lifted his slaughterer's blade? Your lives are mine to protect. Unit charging.
Engaging. Finally, Amiya.
I'll do my best.
信号は安定。誰が戦場で旗を武器にするんだよ。
I'm so Stay back!
ええ、ここにいます。
I'm headed into the thick of it.
Dags att välja vårt byte. So that's our target? Fight or flee, it's no use! Finally, Amiya.
Stay calm. Continue to shadow. Initiation loading complete.
信号は安定。即戦即決。
I'm prepared. Your lives. Now ignite.
You saw nothing.
Mission accomplished.
Okay. Wait, the black bars are showing? Shit, I'm on the wrong fucking window. My mistake. Several days later. Well, inventory check. This lot of factories has handed in its designated amount of material. Excellent. Miss Catherine, as you know, taking on Londinium's hundreds of factories and ensuring their smooth operation is by no means a simple feat. Thus, my only option is to personally see every handover completed. Some unpleasantness always comes part and parcel, but this handover, out of this final set of factories, has been the smoothest. I must thank you for your willing cooperation and for sparing me so much time. I just don't want to do anything that will be of no avail. I admire your attitude, Miss Catherine, but I'm afraid your heart of hearts doesn't agree with you. You mean, I hear a few days ago some workers fled your factory. Being the case, I'd like to take stock of personnel while I'm here and have a look at your factory's names. It was my grandson who ran. Catherine, oh? Young instead to do without thinking. Very plain dealing of you, Miss Catherine, but frankness alone will not quell this matter. Sir, I cannot guarantee you everyone under me is of one mind. I don't have that capacity. I can only guarantee this factory hands in its designated material quota. Could I ascertain, are you asking me to let him go? He's a single type. Every hair on his head out of place. He's hardly going to affect this factory's operation. But you could. I've heard about your past deeds, Miss Catherine. No wonder you were chosen as a worker's representative, a woman of honor. I esteem you work for it. But we always must nip these things at the bud. Or are you able to guarantee me that your grandson won't become a traitor to us? Such as if he joined the Self-Salvation Corps. That's all the vogue. I have no need to guarantee it, sir. Young unts always think they can do something. but it always turns out that they don't know what it is they're facing. They'll nip themselves. I understand your sentiment. Indeed, pursuing a single escaped worker pales in comparison to the gravity ensuing a dozen factories continue to stably operate. I can overlook this affair, Miss Catherine, but I do hope you're able to keep your promise. As long as I'm in charge of this factory, there'll never be a problem. Excellent. In that case, it's time we get on with the handover ceremony. That chuckle though? Nah, I just found it funny that how she like handled the situation, just outing her own, man. It was just funny. Just our goddamn luck. I wanted to go to the factory too and watch the flag raising. Quick gripling. You can see it from here anyway. Just tough it out. There's none of the gravitas here that you get watching on site. Man, who the hell knew we'd actually take Victoria's capital? Dream of that in the past and you'd kick yourself. True enough. Still, next comes the hardest period. The Dukes are all eyes on us. If they were good for anything, we wouldn't have seized Londinium so handedly. That was close. Lucky these mercs have no idea the plate has a gap you can get into here. Feast makes his way to a pipeline entrance. He's done his survey. Somewhere along this passage is a connection to Sudian. But now on the verge of setting foot inside it, he has doubts after all. He wasn't kidding, Pato. He's thought over every difficulty he might potentially face. Critically, though, and what he never said was that he didn't have a plan for every problem. Granny wasn't wrong after all. He's just a smith. He has a head that passes for smart and relatively hardworking. These two things ensured he could muddle through life fine in Londinium's peaceful years, but there's no telling if they'll save his life right under the Sarka's noses. Tommy was right. If only those massive hulking metal lads were still around. He's all grown up, and still he's never seen a steam knight before. Sorry, I got someone asking me technical help as I'm trying to read this. Give me a second. Bang, clang, bang. With the factory ceiling so high and the hatches so small, the view of the sky can't help being minuscule from within. Its ever-changing shades cast a projection down into the factory. Never changing is the sound of the assembly line, one hunk of metal striking another, as well as the sight of old Granny standing at its side. Think it's dull, don't you? Hold on to your hammer and spanner tonight. If you really want to do something, you've got to persevere. You strike once, and you get nothing more than a hunk of beaten metal. You strike again and again, and you can make steam armor. You strike again, and then your child and your children's children carry on striking. And we've got Londinium. Should he head back? Should he go in? He has no idea. From far away comes the sound of a Sarkaz bugle, and feast follows that sound. Feist, feast, feist, feist. Atop every factory in Londinium stands a flag. That flag stands for Victoria. Not once since this factory's founding has that ever changed. But that, as of today, has changed. Sign here, Miss Catherine. Without hesitation, Catherine, upon the document that embodies transferal factory authority, signs a practiced signature. And now, the final changing of the flag. Go. Stay, Miss Catherine. Be what it may, you are currently witnessing history. Sir, can I light a smoke? By all means. Sir, just as you heard of me, I've heard about you too. Oh? Gaul. Yes, my father was a Gaulish loyalist. That's no secret. But you're querying me now how I feel at this moment, Miss Catherine. In an instant of joy, there was no blood shed throughout this procedure. But outside of that, my heart is filled with nothing but sorrow. Not far away, Sarkish soldiers fury over the flag that stands for them. Meanwhile, an additional 2 Sarkas prepared to lower the current one. Catherine could see the happiness on their faces, and beyond them, resplendent, Jesus Christ words. It won't come out. There you go, resplendent, sunset glow. Catherine knows. It all signifies the dark isn't long away. Feist turns his head, and from this position, he so just happens to be able to see the factory's flagpole towering high. He stands there and watches as Victoria's flag descends foot by foot. A moment later, foot by foot, the flag of Sarkaz rises. As if nothing's changed at all. He takes a deep breath and sets foot into the pipeline. It's pitch dark within. Apprehensively, he sets off for the direction of Sudian he recalls. All of Londinium's munitions factories have now completed the handover, and on this day, they have exchanged Victorian flags for those of the Sarkas. They flutter in the breeze.
That was close. I almost... anyway, good thing
Oh,
I managed to
man.
pull through in the end. Sorry, Doctor. Please give me a minute. I need to get my emotions under control.
Staying focused when trying to read is the hardest thing ever, man. Even before Londinium was a nomadic city, the palace of Westaleg stood here. Its name was originally plain Westaleg. The Draco royal family convened its ministers here in this palace and used their beloved gold and ruby to decorate the outer walls. Said decorations went up in flames during the Great Fire 300 years ago. Still, the building's skeleton remained, and it bore witness to the first Aslan king's coronation. Thereafter, Westaleg formerly became the Palace of Westaleg to commemorate the age of peace and prosperity founded by the Draco and Aslan kings enjoined. 26 years ago, the last Aslan king was captured in the same place by Parliament standing forces. And now, this is no longer the building where the Victorian Parliament assembles. Sat at the conference table is but one person, not Draco nor Aslan, but Sarkis. Still no sign of movement from the Duke's God of Odin? Duke of God Odin? Huh? I don't think I'm supposed to know who that is yet. Ever since the Viscount's life was attempted, our activity in the Dimizine has been greatly restricted. Lavish saloon. Oh God. Lavish saloons held every night at the Duke of Normandy's residence, but the flow of raw steel is extremely suspect, and all intelligence personnel have turned up empty-handed. By the way, after chapter 11, will he read what the Firelight casts at read and run? I don't know what that is. If it's an event, maybe. It depends on how important it is to me continuing. That's the read alter event. Oh, I think Baka told me that I have no choice but to read it anyway. So, Baki's literally telling me I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Baki told me to, so I have to do it. And all intelligence personnel have turned up empty-handed. Any sound from Dublin is drowned out by the Duke of Wellington's high-speed battleships roaring. We've, as of yet, been unable to penetrate into the Iron Duke's Dutch. But no other Duke will be able to impede the veteran without a doubt. The Marquis and Co. have finally given up on the Duke of Stafford's inheritance. The Duke of Castor admitted envoys and gifts on New Year's Eve. Activity from all dukes has been growing increasingly frequent since the last winter. It may be a sign that they're about to reach a conclusion. Preparations for Londinium remain at the same pace as... Hold on for a moment. Sorry. What? You're sure? Lothian? 3 days ago? This is too slow. Yes, it looks like they finally found results after their diplomatic peacemaking. New cipher's just been decoded. It's word from the front line, General. Yeah, I know. It was just my thermostat. It's fine. But yeah, I think it was fine. I don't think it shows anything on that screen. Yeah, it just says apartment. We're good. Yes, I need to notify you ASAP. 3 days ago, the Empress voice. What the fuck is that word? Grandiloquent. What does that mean? Extravagant in language, style, or manner, especially in a way that is intended to impress. So they make, so basically an event that is pretty with the intention of impressing a group of people. Like if it's a Spanish festival, it's meant to impress Spanish people. I think I get it. Um, 3 days ago, the Empress's voice grandiloquently left the Duke of Windermere's limousine, gulps. We didn't discover contact between the two sides in time, but just today, a city, a fortress, changed course and is sailing straight for Lindonium. The one that's been nearest us over the past 2 years. Why does he keep on doing that thing? That's annoying. It's pushing directly from Lindonium into the Victorian border, nearing the ravine. Yes. It's the Kerfust arch enemy. What is the Kerfust? Oh no, it's getting into the history of Lindonium. Never mind. I'm not gonna. There's the first arch enemy, Duke Windermere's army. It's a German thing. Lithuanian keyword. Yeah, that's why I didn't even bother to read, because it just gave me like a whole history of Lithuanian like pull up, and I'm not doing that. Duke Windermere announces internationally, this is to avoid catastrophe. Silence once again hangs over the hall, but at this moment, with his eyes shut tight, Thurissus sees the thick fog outside of Lindonium. Once it clears, the battle will come, right on schedule. Kerfust is a regional leader in Lindonium. I hate you guys. Confirmed. History is Chaotic's kryptonite subject. I'm gonna be honest with you. Anything that's too much reading is my kryptonite. All right. That's why I like English voiceovers, because I just wanted to read it to me. All right. Why? Dyslexia and ADHD. It makes it incredibly hard to focus without stuttering or saying the wrong word. Footsteps break through Thurissus' train of thought. He is forced to open his eyes. There she is. Thurissus? It's you. Were you asleep? Perhaps. The Victorian dupes are a cunning lot. They meticulously sift through every word of intel that flows into Lindonium, making the Sarkas lose their heads. The advantage isn't ours in this gamble, yet neither have we been at the disadvantage. The military commission's business is always endless, such is our history's fragility. Even a single comment on a piece of information awry would suffice to forever damn Kesdale. But even now as we stand in Lindonium, things have hardly changed much. You're still as weary as ever. You know, I can't wait till we get to a point where it's just giving us lore about Theresa in conjunction with the words in conjunction with her meeting Amiya. I was trying to think of a better way of explaining that, but I couldn't. When she literally is standing there in front of Amiya, how is she gonna react? How is she going? This is going to be the most exciting part for me, when Theresa and Amiya finally are right there. No, one thing has changed. You're here. Yes, I am. The breadth of possibilities has crossed my mind. If you were to take my head, perhaps you would make a much cleaner job of it than I. You would never think that way yourself. That was a hypothetical put forth by Manfred. I am always in need of some differing voices. What's on your mind now? A dream. I saw a still Ladinian, yet unarmed. Clouds enveloped the city, black stones growing everywhere, and the Sarkas, they're in the way between catastrophe and the crowd. They're in the way between catastrophe and the crowd. Once the disaster lifted, Ladinian city gates were wide open to us, and the Victorians stood flanking the streets, cheering and welcoming us in. Ironic, I dislike voice acting because of my ADHD. Usually I skip most spoken dialogue in games and just read text. Oh, what the fuck? You got it an opposite. That's crazy. Okay. We entered this place, and the one sat on the throne no longer feared the black stones that grew from us and took our hands. He called the Sarkas friends. It sounds unfathomable. There was more. I saw vampire, Notch, and Wendigo. I'm sorry, I don't remember how to say Notch. Yeah, no. And Wendigo set foot together into reaches more northern than even Ursus, casting fragments of strange monsters back into the frigid sky. And I saw Banshee and Damatzi venture into parts more southern than even Liberia. I hate Arknights text. Walls against the ocean's descent within the boundless water. Countless Sarkas giving their lives for this land. And Aslan, Draco, Feline, Capridae, Liberi stood together with them. Stood together? Yes, the Sarkas were no longer the nomads excluded. The land embraced us, and we had roots anew. I hate you, Comey. I hate you. This dream was not mine. This scenario all originates from what you once described to me, a future the Sarkas could have. I remember, but you told me then that my ideals were too distant, that it was not only our enemies who would never comprehend me, but neither could the Sarkas. A myriad years of grievances became our weapons, one and all imposed upon me. You also told me that the flames of war within the Sarkas would tear them apart before I led them to that future. That was more likely in all respects. But you begrudge giving up any possibility, even if it may be but a nascent spark. You've also said that this world was only the Sarkas, that the ancients and elders wrestled our homeland from our forebears' hands. Ugh. Their souls in death still murmur the Sarkas' betrayal. How the royal court withers like autumn leaves. How our bloodline is lost in howls of grief. How ridiculous the sinners are in forgetting history. And how Casdale's ruins stew all across Terra. And then they cry out. The Sarkas have invaded our homeland. So better that the Sarkas believe in the fight. The fight can be heard, our destinies together as one. Ooh, the fight can be heard, our destinies together as one. Fuck. Better than that. Better that than peace. No, I get it. That's why I said it again. That's like... poetry type shit. This isn't fair. To rule is a method of coexistence too. Terra will perish by its own hand before it confronts those time-old questions. But our homeland would be more magnificent than many of the Seaborn. Our Hexcrafters would hold the northern menace at bay. Our knowledge, all-encompassing, would dispel Originium in the catastrophes. Before all that, the Sarkas must reach an answer. You're right. They must. This is a conversation we've had countless times, but now you can hear their voices clearly. You can make real contact with their ancient souls' tendrils. So tell me, Theresa, did this myriad of years of all the Tika souls that lived and breathed and passed from life to the other shore in death, did they ever receive a momentary respite? Hold on. I'm gonna look something up real quick because I'm trying to make sure I understand. I've already failed, Theresis. You can ask us too. Don't accidentally spoil yourself. This wasn't something that had the potential of spoiling me because I've seen the name before. So I was looking up Tikas because I think I understand, but just correct me if I'm wrong. When they're discussing the ancients, right? Yeah, we'll just spoil you instead. When they're discussing the various different groups of Terra, that's what they're referring to when they say the Tikas, right? Maybe I'm wrong because it's like various different groups of Sarkas. Am I explaining that correctly? All right, so when they're discussing the various different groups of Sarkas, that's what they're referring to when they're talking about the Tikas, right? I'm trying to put the words together without having to... Okay, it is not. I don't know if you guys are talking or not. Let me refresh this. Oh, fuck. You guys have been telling me the whole time. The chat wasn't populating. Tikas are the most ancient and pure-blooded Sarkas, later in name changed to Sarkas. Okay. I thought your silence was because I wasn't explaining it well, so I had to like think of another way of explaining it. But in all actuality, YouTube just wasn't showing your messages. Okay, Comey, you're home and free. Oh, it showed Cactus's message because I read that. Tikas are the most ancient and pure-blooded Sarkas, later in name changed to Sarkas. They're the original Sarkas. Okay, okay. The ancients are kind of different and a little complex. Is that something I need to know like right now? Because if I do, then just explain it to me, because I don't want to have to read through all of this. It looks like a book. Ancients and elders currently inhabit Terra. The ancients are kind of different and a little complex. You have to read us too, bro. Dude, it wasn't me, it was YouTube. Sarkas was originally a derogatory term until the Tikas of today use it as their rallying cry. Tikas, okay, yeah. Ancients, animal people, and elders, mythological creature people. Oh. Ancients are a separate thing. They encompass just a large group of older generations. Ian doesn't read moment. Shut up, Christmas. Christmas. Tikas are just the original Sarkas and Sancta after Laura's events occurred. Okay. Alright, I get it. Alright, I get it. Because you're a move behind. Because at this moment, it is we that stand here. Here? Lindenium? Tell me, Theresa. When you stand atop the shard and look at this city, what is it that you see? That Victoria is a nation lush with ingenuity. Without a doubt. In a few short centuries, they've built nomadic cities, withstood catastrophe, and even attempted to control the storm. Not to mention these knights of white steam. The Valiants? Valiants. The qualities of a hero or heroine. Exceptional or heroic courage when facing danger. Aw. The violence of those steel suits of armor that ventured into Kazdal 200 years ago falls far short of that which I saw in the years to follow. Perhaps it is the fault of our unique blood, for granting so many of us lives far too long. So long that in the intervals between one war and the next, we lift our head only to realize, accepting the Sarkas, everyone is progressing on. No, it's nothing to do with the length of an individual's life. They have the opportunity to progress simply because in the past they monopolized the freedom to choose between peace and war. Theresa, when I look at Lindenium, I see the number of times this nation has gone wrong. The Victorians scorn how primitive the Sarkas are. Yet in essence, they simply use the rules of the culture they founded to gild the greed of violence that runs in their deepest marrow. They tear at each other. Incessantly. Ultimately, everything they've made will be ruined by their own hands. That is why we could win this chance at freedom. Even if hope is still as remote, I won't give up on any possibility. Yes, in that regard, we've always been so alike. Oh, shut up. Resident of the Duke of Cumberland. Okay. Amiya, Doctor, our messenger has just sent back some key intel. The main Sarkis forces are on their way back to the city right now. It is extremely likely this means they're about to wage war with the Duke's armies. But given previous intel, even if they do return to Londinium, the Sarkis military won't be enough to directly contend with all the Dukes. A donkey and a Scottish. With the Sarkis choosing to act now, they obviously believe they've grasped some key power that'll sway the situation for them. You're a fucking idiot. The shard. That that skyscraper the Sarkis occupied, we've learned there's weaponry concealed in the building. Yes, but will it sway things? It will. Clovicia. Have your people ever taken note of the storm above the shard? Oh, those dark clouds seem highly unusual. According to the intel we've obtained, that's no normal storm at all. That's a catastrophe the shard is causing, even if it isn't entirely the same as a true catastrophe. The Sarkis want to cause a catastrophe? They're still in Londinium themselves. What would they gain from destroying the city? They plan to weaponize the storm. We're not just conjecturing the shard's purpose. This weapon, or this technology rather, is exactly Rhodes Island's chief objective in entering Londinium. Sorry, I'm burping from the water. That's why I keep pausing. So just bear with me when it happens. Rhodes Island came for the cloud shrouding Londinium. Yes, it's not just a figure of speech. In the eventuality, Doresis does activate the shard. He'll lead the flames of war and the storm together upon those he sees as Sarkis' enemies. No catastrophe messenger could predict a man-made catastrophe's course. No nomadic city could escape such a catastrophe's assault. Countless Sarkis and Victorians will die in that battle, and it'll likely be even more tragic for those who survive. Most of them will become infected. Why are you trolling? Why are you trolling? Only because I'm home? Thank you for the one gifted. Countless Sarkis and Victorians will die in that battle, and it'll likely be even more tragic for those who survive. Most of them will become infected. Not to mention, the shard isn't on the border. It's in Londinium, sorry, a nation's very capital, which means the Sarkis will use Victoria's power to destroy her. Me supporting Chaotic. Why are you trolling? Because you're literally donating half the stream. Like, you're most of the stream's fucking income. and you go, oh, here's one more. Like, the fuck? On that note, Soul decides to add to it. Soul, thank you for the 17 months. Okay, Comey. If we reach that stage, then everything the corpse has done will be for naught. Oh, I forgot to pull the chat back up. Even if we could rescue people from the catastrophe, as Rhodes Island does, Londinium and our livelihood would be past any point of return. Clavicia, Rhodes Island is greatly thankful for the Self-Salvation Corps. Without your help, we would have had no good way into Central Lithinium. But neither I nor the Doctor will lie to you. No matter how Rhodes Island plans to approach the Shard, the battles ahead will be brutal. Even more brutal than the last. Thank you, Lithinium. Sorry, fuck words. All these fucking difficult names and text and fuck. If we can't stop the Tharissus within the next few days, we'll be facing an all-out war, and the Dukes will march with an eye to enter Lithinium. If the Corps chooses to wait for the Duke's armies, Amiya, we can't do that. I'm the daughter of a textiles merchant. Most of the fighters, in fact, are just ordinary civilians. We have workers, farmers, craftsmen, and traders. Our backgrounds are a tapestry of millions together under one goal of driving the Sarkas out of Lithinium as soon as possible. That's why the Corps won't place all its hopes in the Dukes. Otherwise, we'd never have been able to take a stand ourselves. The greatest fear, if it came to it, would even be the Sarkas controlling the Shard. It'd be the Dukes dropping any shred of thought for the ramifications. So, the Corps has no intent to suspend operations? Correct. On the contrary, in fact, with war on the eve of breaking out, there are some things only the Self-Salvation Corps can do here within Lithinium. Such as gaining as much possible intel on the Sarkas supply lines. We think alike, Doctor. Should the Dukes wage war, the Sarkas will surely have preparations made to hold Lithinium. Being a steel fortress, Lithinium is self-sufficient to an extent. However, the Sarkas' action within the city have long since outstripped that load. Outstripped. Still unlike Lithinium's previous masters, the Sarkas don't get a drop of evident support from any of Victoria's other cities. In comparison, while the Dukes do act on all their own liberties, they'll each have their own steady flow of supplies. A supply line? The Sarkas do have some kind of hidden supply line, definitely. Completing the Shard has been a multi-year undertaking. The idea that relying solely on Lithinium's own production is practically impossible. It originates outside the city, and its terminus is in a Lithinium munitions factory that builds weapons for the Sarkas. Right, if we can locate the supply line, then we'll be able to delay the birth of a superweapon. Commander Clavicia, cooperation is still our best choice. I'm afraid so, Doctor. We need more intel on the munitions factory. The Corps has a fighter who knows Highbury in and out. Doctor, you know him very well. Yes. Right. He's the most suited candidate for this mission. With some minor preparations, he'll lead everyone away from the Sarkas' watch. And for the munitions factory, we'll still need each other for more concrete sources of info. The Defense Forces Command HQ. It's a tower located on the border between Arknights and Highbury boroughs, and it controls the info network for the entirety of Lithinium's defense systems. Given the supply line can penetrate Lithinium, there must be records of it lying somewhere in the system. There's traders. Their commander, later who threw himself to the Sarkas a few years back. It'd be pointless to try and win backing from a treasonist. If we plan to raid their command tower, we need some other way to seize system privileges. Of course, method aside, there's the fact that our troops desperately need new armaments. The Sarkis have placed their sights back on the city interior, and our supplies are stretched thin. I'll think of some way to address the supply needs. You done grew up to be a fine young lady. That's all I'm gonna say. What the fuck? When it comes to keeping Londiniums going day to day, there's still scarcely a Victorian trader who's fallen in line with the Sarkis. Allardale? However, in turn, there's a different matter that I need you to help me with. Clovicia. Rhodes Island has brought Artorius' relic back from Londinium. Artorius? That's the surname of the royal Draco's descendant took. Exactly. Wait, did I fucking read that right? Artorius. That's the surname of the Draco's descendant took. Okay. Do I know Artorius? Have I seen this person? Should I look it up or should I avoid it? Chat. Can I look it up? Okay. Exactly. I've already checked with the doctor in Amiya. It's the Artorius key, without a doubt. You read that yesterday? Yeah, and I was tired yesterday. I've already checked with the doctor in Amiya, the Artorius key, without a doubt. And that key opens the way to the door of the Mausoleum of Kings, which means that we can retrieve the realm blade and the size of kings. Its significance goes beyond what any ordinary citizen would ever imagine. Trust me, please. It's not just some pretty please of steel bestowed with symbolism. If we say the shard is Londinium's great incomplete ambition, then the truth of Victorian realm of the Victorian realm blade and the Mausoleum of Kings, that will be Londinium's real ace in the sleeve. Comey, shut the fuck up. Okay. The Victorian realm blade isn't just symbolic. Only a few nobles, along with Victoria's royal families, knew about it. And I happen to be a Cumberland. I believe you. The Mausoleum of Kings is practically a thing of myth to us. If a royal key can open a door, fuck my eye, dude. If a royal key can open the door to it. Amiya, how exactly did Rhodes Island get this key? Should I not have asked? We won't conceal the key's history. But it isn't Rhodes Island's. It bears tales upon tales that I was never a part of and could never tell you. For Rhodes Island's time with it, though, I can tell you bit by bit if you're interested. Thank you, Amiya. I'm just floored, really. The legacy of Artorius, the truth of the shard, it's as if Rhodes Island really has been preparing for all these years now to be here today in Londinium. But I won't delve any further for now. I won't make anything else either. I won't make anyone else either. It might lose us an important ally. Phew, Amiya, Doctor, do you have anything else you want to tell me? There is one other thing, in fact. Clovicia, about my background. I'd like to have a chat with you. Oh, dang, she got more? The flowers. Doctor, look at these flowers. They're growing. It's amazing. A place like this in the middle of Londinium, in a Sarkaz-occupied city? For the Sarkaz, not letting the nobles go is a plus. You're both quite right, Doctor, Miss Amiya. Despite it being slightly neglected these past few years, the Duke of Cumberland's manor is still Londinium's most iconic building. I've not much recollection of my home out of the Dutch. My childhood memories mostly tie back to here. Nobody would ever truly leave this place to rot, would they? Miss Allardale. The fact that she went to lay everything bare to Miss Clavisia, while it turns out your crew were already wise to Her Highness's identity, I didn't expect that, I'll confess. Vina and I do get along very well. Well, that reply of yours surprises me even more. Rhodes Island knew who Her Highness was, yet wait, she's surprised that we knew who she, okay. Her Highness was, Rhodes Island knew who Her Highness was, yet have been willing to treat her as Vina, leader of the Glasgow gang. Give Clavisia and Vina some more time. The corps have their disagreements when it comes to nobles, you know, and Her Highness is going to have a lot to say. I'm sure you have questions for me, too, mysterious little bunny. Jesus Christ, don't do that. Don't treat her like, well, she is a little kid. I'd like to jibber jabber a little with enigmatic Rhodes. Oh my God, words are starting to fuck up. I'd like to jibber jabber a little with the enigmatic Rhodes Island myself, but before it's time to mingle with the merchants. Miss Allardale, is this residence truly secure? Rational question. The Sarkas naturally have their motive for not flushing out the nobles in Central. Londinium's a massive city. There's much too much for them to mind. But we've paid a tremendous price to sit in the middle of war unscathed, Miss Amiya. Dignity, or what have you, is the least valuable part of it. Given the chance, I'll explain to Rhodes Island in detail, but the Sarkas informants surveilling this manor are under our control, and for now, I ask you to trust me. They haven't realized we've infiltrated them. They're wrong to believe Londinium's noble cities lost their every weapon after being isolated. Their mistake. You still have some way to counter Sarkas surveillance? Provisionally. No. If Her Highness has decided to be forthright with the corpse, then it's not my place to be covering up either. For the sake of a smooth partnership, I can explicitly guarantee to you all that even now, the Cumberland residence has people who can establish extra city. What the fuck? I can't even find something to fucking say it for me. Extra city. Who can establish an extra city contract. I fucking hate that word, dude. But the Sarkas aren't fools. They're well versed in war. Indeed. But like I told you, Londinium's a massive city. They don't have enough people. They're all on their own. And that serves us opportunities. Correct. Seems I haven't satisfied you much with my response. No, Miss Allardale, I just worry your burden's too heavy. What? If there really is some way for Victoria to keep control of Londinium as it is now, No, I believe they can. But if they truly can, if they ultimately can, then what is it that they've been doing in practice all these years? That they've been having you do? Allardale's face clearly twists for an instant. The flash of emotion is immeasurably magnified in Amiya's eyes. It's no simple resentment, nor wariness, nor panic. It's grief. A grief so familiar it hurts. I apologize, Miss Allardale. I know I've offended you. Clavizia was right. We don't need to pry into each other. I could very well strain our progress instead with this complex state of affairs. But if possible, please don't stifle yourself. We've seen the consequences of that time and time again. Miss Allardale, am I being too heavy-handed, aren't I? No. Rhodes Island just keeps on astonishing me. It seems I was judging you by your cover. I never did imagine you'd be this sort of leader. You must be at least a decade younger than me, but the look in your eyes is a very real thing. Not to mention, well, you've seen right through me, considering you even cracked the secret of the shard ahead of Clavizia and I. And brought the Red Dragon's key with you. Honestly, if Her Highness hadn't vouched for you, I might have just been even warier of Rhodes Island than the Sarkas. It's true, Londinium, no, the Sarkas to us have more significance still. That's why we're here. Well then, you're here. What are you fighting for? Her Highness gave me a simple synopsis of Rhodes Island. You seem to be all sorts of bound up with the Sarkas. But according to what I've heard, Rhodes Island has always worked for the sake of the infected. We do. Then the two of you must have plenty more going on in your heads right now. Leader and commander of Rhodes Island. As you say, there's a great deal of people and affairs in Londinium that we have immeasurable ties to. I'm only speaking personally and for the doctor too. When I say the truth and the past may be enough to impetus on their own, tell me what that means, I'm not looking it up, on their own, at the point for us to act. But we've already been through so much. It's long stopped us from frivolously viewing these struggles and calamities, or placing our individual feelings above the greater problem. Enough reason for us to act. Thank you. That's why we're here to curb a war that would devastate the land and to dissipate the ground zero of Victoria's woes. To prevent the extinction of a race, to find the lifeline that, by all rights, we have methods to seek. To help the infected, the workers, and even the Sarkas that have been desolated. We're here to help people, Miss Allardale. Every single person with life. Every single person with the right to live. Only in the end that the majority can accept. Do the truths of the past have any significance? Amiya finishes her speech with resolution. In Allardale's clear look of surprise, Amiya can't help but seek her heart. She's spoken her most genuine, sincere mind. Of that, there is no doubt. The operators that work alongside her must surely be filled with the same staunch of conviction. Dr. Cosset stands ever more alone, carrying the weight of ideals. So this ideal's origin, the strong flame of conviction that drives Rhodes Island to move in such a colossal risk, to rush headlong into this political maelstrom, who lit it? And what if this answer of hers remains incapable of solving these pressing issues? These super long fucking Jesus Christ. Classic story node moment. Dude. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Frosty. Thank you, brother. Thank you for reminding me just how much more there is. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. You're gonna give me a fucking panic attack. Grumble, thank you for that. Thank you. Fuck you guys. I hope it gives me just combat missions soon, because I need a breather, right? You got this, Chaotic. We appreciate you always. Don't worry, the ending you'll be stuck because of the stages, not the history. I think there's 21 stages. Grumble? It's on site whenever I see you, bro. I don't know if you remember, but Amiya is like, yeah, I know. That's why I corrected myself earlier when I said, she's still a kid. Lady Golding, at last you're back. Okay, yesterday someone asked me would I want Molly or Golding more. I got them mixed up. It's Golding that I want more. All right? I'm pretty sure you guys already know why. I'm not going to spell it out for you. Yeah. Did I make it in time? Of course. You've rehearsed this play for well over a year. And this is the first time the children are performing the whole thing. We couldn't possibly start the show without you. Oh my god. Wish my eye would just let me survive, bro. Of course, you rehearsed this play for well over a year. And this is the first time the children are performing the whole thing. We couldn't possibly start the show without you. This eye is fucking with me. I'm not really tired. It's just this eye. I must find myself a good seat then. Children, are you ready? Ready. Let's begin then. Lights. Act 1, Scene 1. Good morning, sir. There's a look of concern on your face. Is something worrying you? The Horn of Victory has blown atop the walls for 3 days and nights. But why do I feel uneasy? Has our great general not returned triumphant? Praise his bravery and fearlessness. Bravery? Fearlessness? Perhaps. But did you not see the light in his eyes when he returned? When he gazed upon the crown? He was like a condorwig circling above a limping meat beast. The fuck are these words? Greed can send the most kind-hearted man straight to hell. And the masses will forever believe that he reaped only what he had sown. These are our terms, Miss Allardale. You need certain goods transported into Londinium, and this is nothing like what we usually carry. Both quantity and the weight are highly unusual. I shan't ask what it is you need transported and why you need them brought into the city. but you must know that the risk we carry but for transporting them is immense. And I'm certain you know that there are not many men out there who can do this for you. The Sarkas keep a close eye on all parts of the city. Should they learn of this under the table deal, not one of us will leave Lindenium alive. Even if your background and the greed of your friends watching your back are enough to keep your lifestyle in Central Lindenium as is, I'm afraid they won't help with this affair. If you want this deal to go through, you must put something worth the risk on the table. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me, Mr. Badair. I will consider your proposal. Time waits for nobody. You must make your decision soon. Their asking price is high. I'm sorry, my mind went straight into the gutter. You must put something worth the risk on the table. And then Miss Allardale is just sitting there on the screen. I'm sitting here thinking, hey, just say you want to smash. Just say you want to smash. We've discussed the situation. I'm sorry. Ignore me. The Royal Mint is in Sarka's hands. News of this must have already spread throughout the entire country via the Magna bankers. Merchant smugglers are worried that the payment they earn will be worthless by this time next month. Naturally, they demand a method of payment that will keep its value in the long term. You intend to accept his terms? Mr. Baudir was right. Time waits for no one. Yeah. Time waits for no one. Now take off your fucking coat. We have at most 5 more days to prepare. If we are to ambush the Defense Forces command tower, we need to bring more weapons into the city. But what they demand is very dear to you. I'm sorry, this isn't helping. But this is a position we're in, Clavicia. This is a position I am in. Oh my god. How do you figure what it means to me? I'm afraid no. I can say this for sure. Your speculations are all wrong. Do you think of me simply as a magnificent Duke of Cumberland? I can see your sanity's pretty low now, bro. All this fucking reading. You likely weren't even born yet, but I saw them hang Victoria's magnificent Lion King in the palace gardens with my own 2 eyes. My name is Cumberland, and everyone knows Cumberland was His Majesty's most faithful friend. Do you think the reason I stand here in front of you is you completely unarmed is because the bigwigs in Parliament had mercy on me? Even now, I still regularly attend Colonel Lato's cocktail parties. My words still carry some weight there, and they still need me to soothe the masses. Of course, this is for our cause. It is also for my own means. I understand your sacrifice. Without your protection, the Self-Salvation Corps could not have made it to this day. I'm not a girl anymore. That thing in the attic means nothing. It's a pile of scrap. Okay, she's capping. She doesn't really feel that way. Alshi, make the arrangements and have it brought down from the attic. You disagree with my decision? I dare not speak, miss. I demand it of you. Lady Allardale, no matter what you say, it is still House Cumberland's steam armor. The blood of your ancestors. That most esteemed duke's blood flows within that armor. It is an honor that Victoria bestowed upon House Cumberland, and it is the symbol of your house, ever on high. It can be destroyed in the flames of war. It can be given to another who is noble and unsullied. It can't. It can't be traded to a greedy merchant. You don't think Mr. Badir is worthy? It clicked. That's the same guy that she was watching when she was young, wasn't it? That was sitting in front of the armor asking how much it costs. Oh my god, it just clicked. That's the same fucking guy. An ancient set of armor, treated as a lowly collectible, and then traded away at a bargain price for just? This has nothing to do with the two conspirators? So that's not the same guy? Alshi, you've been at my side all these years, ever since I was born. We don't know. Got it. We've kept the long-fallen House Cumberland alive. My house was built on nothing but a bunch of empty words. Glory, loyalty, nobility, or perhaps benevolence. But none of them hold any meaning today. It's you and I whom this house now stands. I understand, miss. Have we gotten a letter from them today? Not yet. You know, the music of the past as if it still rings loud in my head. This manor once hosted a king, but where is he now? My apologies, Your Highness. Call me Vina. Welcome, Vina. I've returned from patrolling with the fighters. You're still willing to go on missions with the fighters of the Self-Salvation Corps? Splendid. I want to do as much as I can. It's more than enough for the men to simply know you are here. I've heard from Clavisia. The attic is absolutely cluttered with rubbish. I've got to pull myself together and clean it up a bit. Lots of dust. Lots of dust there. I mustn't have Your Highness helping me with such things. Allardale, I don't want you to sell the armor. Is that an edict from Your Highness? I have no right to issue one. You're the one responsible for the Self-Salvation Corps, not me. You know better than I what's right for the corpse, and I understand the armor can buy us an opportunity, but please give me some time. I will find a way. Vina, you needn't worry yourself over this. Is that an order from the Self-Salvation Corps? Alterig? District leader? Very well. If nothing ever happened, perhaps. Never mind, it's all in the past. Lady Heidi. What is it? Do we have any news from Golding? Yes. She just sent us a message through the transmitter at the bookstore. It's been forwarded to your terminal. Good. Very good. She says she's safe. Everything in Alterig is proceeding according to plan. Please send a reply. The doctor's squad has successfully slipped past the checkpoint and infiltrated Hypergryph. Thanks to the mercenaries working with Rhodes Island. Catherine, there's a problem with the conveyor belt at loading area number 9. Let's have a look. There's a loose nut. Okay, yeah, I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it. I'm here. You're on shift today, and we're running shorter and shorter on time. What are you doing? If we don't speed things up, the sarcas will smear your brains across this steel here. Sorry, Catherine. Now hand me the spanner. Okay. Here. Quick on your feet all of a sudden. You. Long time no see, Granny. I'm back. Pato? Catherine? See your team leader after work for a write-up. What? You let unauthorized personnel into the factory's most important landing zone. You're lucky you haven't been sacked. Granny, this isn't Pato's fault. It wasn't him who let me in. Good. Pato bring Tommy and Day with you to get written up. I'd better not see a single one of you trying to wiggle out of this. You and that strange character from God knows where next to you. Me? Come. Sir, why is the palace so quiet? Palace? What palace? You're facing the outer walls of the palace. Move aside, big heap of metal. You're blocking the sunlight. I'm facing nothing but an empty house. I'm Steam Knight. I purge all evil and injustice. Young man, it's over. No, it is not, nor shall it ever be. So long as we still know what is right and what is wrong, so long as we never hesitate to make the right decision, it shall never be over. I've made my way precisely for that reason. I invite all men to join me, even if you have yet to relax your tightly clenched fist. Am I right? Amiya, our cover's blown. How many hostiles? Recon operators report 4 mercenary patrol teams headed in our direction. We have to pass through the district to reach the Defense Forces command tower, and we've only just made it inside. Sarkis forces are way too quick to react. We're being ambushed. How's the backup rock looking? The mercenaries have been lured to the front here? No, it won't work. There's another squad coming up fast. The SSC just spotted them. What did they say? They had a run-in with this squad when they evacuated from Sudian. They say these Sarkis fight. Well, they're inhuman. Vampires, man. Notify all units. The operation's been canceled. Prepare to pull out immediately. There's no time. The vampire fighters are moving way too fast. The SSC has engaged them. Change of plans. We're aiding the SSC. This is a Okay, never mind. Where's the Goddess? What Goddess? Don't play dumb with me. She's been with you lot the last couple days. I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm not talking, even if you kill me. Another stubborn bunch. What's this? Bugs? Bloody hell. Hang in there, friend. Back in formation. Don't let the bugs on the ground separate you. Defender operators. Cover our allies' retreat. Rhodes Island and the SSC came here together, and so we'll leave together.
Target confirmed. They won't know what hit them.
Picked out your bait yet?
主の名を掲げ、この旗の下へ集え。こんなセリフを一度言ってみたかったんだ。
これ以上は進ませません。
I know what. I will sink your corpse into shadow. No one will find it.
問題ないよ。即戦即決。
Your lives are mine to protect.
ここまでだ。
Stay calm and make your move. Continue to shadow. Arch unit charging. Where do you wish to hide, Dublin?
Don't keep nothing to mask this.
いや悪いね。僕は別に信徒じゃないよ。
I'll do my best.
I will sink your corpse into shadow. No one will find it.
信号は安定。いや悪いね。僕は別に信徒じゃないよ。
I'm so tense. What do you need of me? Nature should not be disturbed. I'm so tense. Can I get away from me, please? I'm prepared. Fear not. I am.
問題ない。即戦即決。
You can't hide your fear.
I'm so tired of the distance. There! I'm prepared to fight.
Mission accomplished.
We have a single Amiya. Good. Casters hold the shield with me. Everyone else gets the corner. The Sarkis casters will raise their stairs together. Monsters made of blood rush up from the underground. The entire street opens its gaping maw, breath at the soldiers. There's too many of them. Black lines cutting through the flesh of the monsters, but even more give rise again from the fallen, gnawing away at the arts, forming a defensive barrier. The fighters run for their lives, but the stench from their predators' jaw is never far behind. Finally, they make it into another alley, and they find themselves face to face with an aura that is potent, pure, and fearsome. Stop. The bloody tide stops in its tracks. It was as if they ran into an invisible wall when they rounded the corner. The maggot-shaped arts creations smashed themselves into pieces, leaving bloody trails on the ground. The empty street is completely silent. Casualties? We're fine. We got out quick enough. I hope we've delayed the Sarkas, made things safer for Allardale and Siege. Thanks everyone, especially our SSC friends. Thank you for being willing to take this risk with us. Commander Clavizia calls Rhodes Island our most important ally. We're always ready to do what we have to. Plus, if this Rhodes Island operator here hadn't helped us, that vampire would have done all of us in a long time ago. No need to thank me. I've seen too much meaningless killing in Londinium. I must stop my compatriots who have gone too far. Sorry, Doctor. I thought I was just coming home with you. I had a fight with Granny when I skipped out of the factory last year. A dozen big brushing workers surround you, their eyes filled with suspicion. You glance at the drills and Spaniards in their hand, and then faced dressed like the workers, but here on his own. Seems like a little more than a fight. I guess Granny's still sore at me. I've got no reason to be sore at a dead man. I didn't even know my only grandson was still alive till a minute ago. I wanted to send a message, but it was too risky. The Sarkas monitor all communications into Highbury. I can't let the Sarkas tie you to the Self-Salvation Corps. So you join that band of crackpots. The Londinium citizens of SSC. We did a lot in Sudi and Granny. The Sarkas control the media, and they call us an unnamed violent gang. You're the ones who blew up the wall. It was the Your grandson fought bravely in the fight, or in the battle. I didn't know you had such a high regard for my rope work. So you're here to blow up the armory? Of course not. What do you say to your SSC friends? We're making weapons for the Sarkas to use against Victorians? No, Granny. What I told them was, my granny stands up to protect their livelihoods. I know you think I'm a brat with a little more than a couple silly tricks, but I didn't come back to drag the workers into this. I'm not here to try and convince you either. I have my goals, of course, and it'd be brilliant if you were able to help me, but first, I just wanted to see that you were safe. Come here, let me have a look at you. Granny, you put on a few inches, brat. Yeah, I grew a little bit. I have the goods soon. A suit of steam armor. How many men would kill to get one like it? The nobles of Lothian love to flaunt such storied antiques. Oh, and do be sure to ask those Colombian firms as well. They might be interested even if the tech is centuries old. Getting it out will be no trouble at all. What business do you think I'm running in Lothian these days? The Sarkas are a gang of raving psychopaths, and they alone can't rule Lothian. I have friends in the defense forces. They'll take care of it for me. I've heard it has a few external blemishes. However, I do hope that it won't hurt the price. Why not cancel the deal if you're so worried about the price? Who's there? Don't worry, we just happen to be traveling the same way. Get this intruder out of here. Say, where are my bodyguards? I've asked them to take a short nap. You can go and wake them once we've finished our chat. All of them? Against just one of you? One? Oh my, no. Look behind you. I envisioned this animated as that was happening. All right, Frosty, thank you for coming through, brother. You, this is Londinium. I've got friends in high places. Oh, where are they? Do tell. I bet I'd get on famously. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Don't do anything rash now. Play nice with us and nobody has to get beat. Whatever Siege says, do. Otherwise, my claws won't be aimed at the wall next time. Alright, I understand. Seriously? You really got into it there. I learned it from you lot. Now then, let him go. You can open your eyes and put your hands down now, Mr. Batter. Jeez, we're not going to hurt you, at least not yet. What do you want? My terms are clear. Cancel the deal for the Cumberland steam armor. You'll let me go if I agree? Yes. But I'll make sure you keep your side of the bargain. Show Mr. Batter our map, Morgan. With pleasure. The marks on the map. Those are my warehouses. How do you know about them? You don't pay much attention when you're out and about. You shadowed me. Correct. The Sarkas cannot be bribed. If they learn that you smuggled so much contraband into Londinium through your connections, how helpful do you think your friend will be? Will he be in any position to protect you? You're considering tipping off the Sarkas. That may well get us all killed, but they won't have to know anything if you continue to work with us. Do I have a choice? I understand your circumstances, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with you. You'll be compensated fairly. Wait a second. What is your relationship to Allardale, Cumberland? Are you her attendant? I can't imagine House Cumberland is in any position to hire one. Watch your mouth. Cumberland serves Vina, not the other way around. She's the daughter of the Duke. You don't mean... No, I'm nobody. Lady Cumberland and I are comrades, along with thousands upon thousands of Londonians who long for peace. I do hope you're one of them. I'm not going to hold you. After this one, we may be calling it. I think the 2-hour mark is becoming my my limit for reading for long periods of time. All those loyal to this land stand with me. The final battle against evil lies before us. Children, do you live here? Hide not in the corners and shadows. If you cannot hold a sword... God damn it, dude. There is more to being a warrior than simply holding a sword. Open your eyes, watch, listen, think. Tell me what is right, what is wrong, and what kind of life you wish to live. I march onwards with you as my witness. Brilliant. Look at how good Ralph is. Lady Golding, how much he's grown, and to think he was a mischievous little beastling just 4 years ago. Yes, I'm delighted. A handkerchief, Molly. I'm sorry, I was just looking. Excuse me. Yes. I can't stain my clothes with tears in front of the children. Oh, but I just can't stop crying. To think that Ralph and the other kids will be leaving school so soon. It's time for them to have a rest, and us too. Yes, the final scene, that's the best part. Who's clapping? You didn't invite anyone to the rehearsal today, did you? The teachers cast their glances towards the back of the classroom. A man in military attire claps slowly by the door. It's that guy. What a splendid performance. Colonel Leto. I didn't think the commander of the defense forces would grace this classroom with his presence. Good afternoon, ladies.
Take victory as a whetstone.
And
to hone the
this
cutting edge.
is where we take a pause. These things are long, bro. Well, it's because of this operation one. This one was like long as fuck. Yeah, this is where we take a pause. I'm realizing that with all this reading, it just tires me. So yeah, we're gonna stop here for today. Thank you guys for coming through and enjoying this with me. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, and we'll be live again tomorrow. Baki, I saw what you said earlier, and wouldn't you want there to be more of them in one stream? So next stream, we'll have shorter ones, and we'll be able to complete them and get much further in the stream, right? Or in the story. So, I mean, it works in your favor, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Just slightly. Just maybe. More in my favor, but in yours too. All right, so I'm going to grab some nom-noms, guys. And chillax a little bit. This fucking light blinds the fuck out of me. Oh god. Okay. You're like 25% into the chapter, and the thing is, we got a lot of time. You could also struggle in more of the missions, so that way you're not reading so much. Hey. Baki. As we get closer to the end, I'll start struggling. Right now, we're just trying to get past the easy stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? All right. I'm outie, guys. I will see you guys again tomorrow.
There is still much we can do, Doctor.
You can guarantee that even if we don't have a long one tomorrow, on the days that I don't work, it'll be much easier to have a longer stream. So, even though we're not really making crazy progress now on like Friday and Saturday when I'm playing this, we'll have longer streams. It's just that I work and I'm tired, man. By the time I'm finally getting into these streams, I've already worked an 8-hour day and worked on a video, and I'm tired. So I'll see you guys again soon. You all have a wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay chaotic, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Peace out, guys.
Scanning. The atmospheric oxygen level is still decreasing. No. Let the doctor rest. I will check it out.